Hey everyone, welcome to the video. So today I want to reveal something that I've been working on for about 3 months now, and here it is. It is a G.I. Joe classified sized Cobra snake. So I designed this starting about 3 months ago, just was using Fusion 360. I actually revealed in a couple previous videos some things, the way that I kind of put some things together, but this is the final product after a lot of retooling, a lot of prototyping, printing things, taking them apart, putting them back together. Here is the final product. And I know that I'm the one that has created it, but I think it looks great. Destro and his engineers have done a great job on this entire figure, and there are some surprises that I want to show off to you right now. So let's take a little bit closer look at the G.I. Joe classified line Cobra Snake that I've designed. All right, so let's take a little bit closer look at the snake itself. So it comes in different parts. You've got both arms that do come off. They are magnetized, so they can come off as need be. Also with the arms, you get 4 different hands, if you will. And the first one is a rocket that can be shot off. You've got a claw arm right there. You've also got 2 other arms. One looks like this, which is, I've been calling this one a laser gun. And then the very last one that we have is I call it a flamethrower, but it looks like that, a flamethrower. Now the nice thing about these is that these come right off. So if we take this rocket arm, if you will, we can twist it a little bit. It twists, and sometimes you got to play with a little bit, but there it is. It comes right off. So this is interchangeable, and we can take off the rocket arm. There are, don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but there are a couple of little notches on the end of this, and it fits right in there. Once it goes on, you give it a little bit of a twist, and now it is on the arm. And there we go. So that's how the arms work. So the other nice thing is that everything is magnetized. So I'm going to reveal something that I think is my favorite part of this entire thing. I will put this guy up here, and I'm going to bring in this version right here, because if we take off the arms, let's take the arms off, once again magnetized, and we take off the front, you can see that a Cobra officer fits inside. Now, this is a really tight fit, and I wanted this to look in scale. I didn't want it to be crazy big or fat, but what I have found is that a Cobra officer for sure fits inside. You can fit a Cobra Trooper, like the original classified line Cobra Trooper, inside of this as well, as long as you take off his vest. If you take that vest off, there is enough room on the inside. So this whole thing comes apart. So you can take the legs off as well. The legs, by the way, are magnetized. So you can take the entire officer in and out. I'm going to leave him in there for right now because it is such a tight fit. I want to make sure that I can put him back inside. This is magnetized as well. So let's put that back together. Put the legs back in. Just like this. His feet need to be pointing down. There we go. Here's the other leg. There he is inside. and the arms are magnetized. So there we go. That is the Cobra Snake with the Cobra officer inside. Now I'm going to set this one off to the side. Pull in another one here. This one does not have a Cobra or an action figure inside of it right now, so I want to show off just a little bit of the inside. Take the arms off. The legs, by the way, are magnetized as well, so when there is no figure in there, there are two magnets right here, two magnets on the legs, and it snaps right on there. You can kind of hear the magnets snapping into place there. So I'm going to take those off for a minute, set the legs off to the side, open this one up as well. And on the inside, both on the front inside and on the back, we've got some different details. So up at the top, you've got a display screen. So the Cobra Trooper that's on the inside is looking at the display screen. You've got a radar there. You've also got a reticle that you can see he's firing at something when he sees it. In the middle, you've got some computer sensors that are monitoring the trooper himself and just keeping track of his vital signs. Same thing on both sides, on the left side and on the right side. At the bottom, you've got more computer just vital sign monitors going on. Then on the back, we've got a computer as well, and this is the brain of the operation. That is the computer that is running everything within the exosuit, within the robot, however you display it, whether it's robot form or it's an exosuit form, either way. All right, so let's go ahead and put this back together. Put the legs back on. I want to show some of the details as well. So on the back here, we've got a number of different things. At the top up here, we've got a vent and then a couple of different indicators that are there as well. Just like on the original figure, we've got this cog at the bottom along with the pipes, and we've got some different details, color details as well. The two circles on the back, the black circles on the back, I thought about making it so that, because the original figure allowed you to put these, the extra arms sticking off the back, but to be honest, I thought that looked really silly, and so I decided not to design it in a way that you could put these extra arms off of the back. If you don't have a figure on the inside and you just want to display this by itself, then you could put the extra hands or weapons on the inside of the body shell there. I do also want to point out, because this is magnetized, these arms are displayable. They can move up and down, and they hold pretty tight. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to take a little bit closer look at some pictures that I've taken so that you can look at these details just a little bit closer and hopefully appreciate it just a little bit more. All right, so let's take a little bit closer look at the details of this Cobra Snake. So first of all, let's start with just a front shot of the whole thing. This is what you get if you were to purchase one of these from me. You get the snake itself, and you get the 1, 2, 3, 4 arms. You can see here that we've got a claw arm, then the what I'm calling the flamethrower arm, a rocket arm, and then also the laser arm. So there we go. The details here, some of the things that I wanted to do, I wanted to keep most of the details of the original design from back in the 80s, but I needed to update a few things. So there's not, everything on here is not exactly the same as the original. It's a little bit more boxy than the original figure actually was, but I try to get as many details in as possible. Each one of these little red details and the black details are individually 3D printed and put into place. So there is going to be some customization that can go on with this in the future. Maybe just not the white, red, and black, but we can use some other colors as well. I'm kind of excited for that. All right, let's take a look at some details from the side and the back. You can see here, this is a side shot of everything. You do have this little seam on the side because there is a front shell and a back shell, but that's to be understandable, at least I hope. And then the arm is magnetic as well. A little bit of hydraulics on the side on his leg, and then the Cobra symbol on the top left and the top right of his head as well. On the back side, we've got this vent and then some indicators and a couple of little greeblies, if you will. The cog is on the back as well with a pipe leading up there. You've got these two circular parts. And like I was saying earlier in the video, on the original figure, you could put the extra arms on the backside, just connect them to these two circles. I wasn't real thrilled with that, so these are just details. You've also got a couple of details on the back of the snake's legs. These are like hydraulics as well. So there is the back. Let's take a look at just a couple other pictures here. Sorry. So I've got, at this point in time, just a short number of these that I 3D printed. One thing that I want you to make note of is this one in the middle in this picture has the Cobra officer figure on the inside. You can see that the legs are just a little bit different as far as the way that they sit. When the Cobra officer is on the inside, or if you have an action figure on the inside of this, the magnetic legs the legs don't need to be magnetized. Now they are, but they usually can kind of just with a little bit of friction stay in place very well, at least with the Cobra officer, without the magnets even being in use. Whereas the two on the outside, to the left and to the right there, those this is what it would look like with no figure on the inside, and the magnets are holding the legs in place. This gives you a little bit of an idea of what the Cobra symbol looks like on each side of the head. I think that turned out really great. I'm super excited about that. I know I said that earlier, but I'm saying it again. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that these are 3D prints, so there are some spots that are a little bit rough. I'm working on some things to maybe make this just a little bit more smooth. I know that I could do some 3D printing with resin prints, and I may do that in the future, but this is to keep the weight down so that it's not a super heavy 3D print. This is all filament. I print 99% of my stuff in PLA, so this will be PLA, and there's a little bit of roughness to it, but that can be sanded off a little bit if you choose to do that, or you can just leave it the way that it is. I think that it looks pretty great for toy photography at this point. All right, here's some details on the inside. I think my favorite part of this entire design is this display screen. So you've got the radar. The idea behind the design here is that this is a radar that is going off. I didn't want to make it too current. I wanted to make it a little bit more like have that retro 1980s vibe to it. So that's why this is kind of a basic look. This picture probably doesn't do justice for the colors that are here, but it's a black screen, and this is a kind of a bright green for both the radar and the reticle. Once again, all three of these things right here are supposed to be body monitors for the character who's inside of the exosuit. And then on the backside, this is supposed to be the brain of the robot when it's in robot form, and then also how basically the CPU, if you will, of the entire design. I decided to take just kind of an action shot, if you want to call it an action shot, but I've got the Cobra officer on the inside. The front of the snake is actually on the Cobra table in the background here. And then this Cobra trooper is carrying one of the arms to bring it over to put it in place. This also gives you a pretty good shot at the magnets that are on the inside. Here's a good look at it. The magnets have been glued in to the back side of the shell, and then there is a slot on the there's a slot on the front to where the magnet slides right in there, and then the arms just magnetize right through the PLA. All right, these are the last two picks that I have. I've got a nice picture here of Destro walking around his lab with some snakes in the foreground and in the background. Like we said before, this is one of those things where when we use our imagination, we have some fun. We go back to a time when we were kids, at least when I was a kid. We imagine Destro working with his Mars engineers to create these Cobra snakes that can be used in the battle against G.I. Joe. And then here is another shot of just 3 snakes in a row. Oh, and here's another look at the one in the middle has the figure on the inside, and then the 2 on the outside are just using the magnets. You can tell, you can see just a little bit right here that the legs don't necessarily have to touch in order to stay in place when the figure is in there. They can fit just fine. They will touch if you just give it a little bit of a nudge. All right, that's it. That's my Cobra snake design and everything that goes with it. Yes, these are going to be for sale. I've got a limited quantity that I'm selling currently. You can find me on Instagram at Maester_Chief. And if you contact me on Instagram wanting to buy one of these, if I'm out of stock, if I'm all out, just let me know, because it takes about 2 days, 2.5 days to print everything for one of these. But I can 3D print one of them for you and get it shipped out to you as soon as possible. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, do all the YouTube things, and hopefully you have a great day.